So this is what we want to do today. We're going to cover goal setting for 2021. We're going to dial in exactly how many leads you need to hit your target revenue for 2021. We're also going to talk about fundamentals of marketing success, your market, your media, and your message. And we're going to talk about how to optimize your website for conversion in 2021 and beyond, because that's really the hub of all of your digital marketing efforts and all of your marketing efforts in general. We're going to talk about the big picture of all online marketing channels, what you should be tapping into to maximize your lead flow online, the latest trends that you need to focus on in 2021. This isn't, it's ever changing, right? Things are ever changing. So we'll go into that, and we'll go into developing a custom action plan based on where you are now and what you need to do to get to your goals for 2021. So in doing that, take some time to do this, take some focus and put it towards this. This next hour could really be a game changer for your business in 2021. Please turn off your cell phone, turn off your Facebook. I've done that for myself. I'm on do not disturb on everything here. So I'm giving you my full attention. And I don't, it's going to be very useful for you to do the same. If you don't know me, I know a lot of you on the call, but if you don't know me, who am I and why you should listen to me? I'm the co-author of the book Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors: How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. You can find that free plus shipping on our website, or you can buy it from Amazon. We're active members of the NRCA. We only work with roofing contractors. And I'm also the host of the Roofing Success podcast. If you haven't checked that out, please do, on all streaming networks and YouTube. It's my little plug for that. Really, this is what we do day in and day out for roofing companies across the country, from Seattle to Miami, from Maine to California. Storm damage restoration companies, retail roofing companies, exterior contracting companies, commercial, residential. This is what we do on a day-to-day basis. So, know that we are completely involved in the industry and in executing these plans on a day-to-day basis. So I want to ask you guys, first question, please keep this interactive with me. Again, like I said, it's not as fun just speaking out into the interweb, right? So what's the hardest part about marketing your roofing business online? Drop that in chat here for me. What do you think the hardest part is about marketing your roofing business online? Chris says content. Content's a big thing. Right? I like to say Google only knows how to read. Determining whether your spend is effective, Brenda, that's a big one, right? What are you getting the correct ROI, right? Are you getting the correct return on investment on your investment? Drew says the internet is so vast, easy to get lost and off track. Like there's some rabbit holes you could go down on the internet, and you might be out there looking for the best way to market your roofing company, and all of a sudden you're down, the algorithms bring you down some other road. If you've watched The Social Dilemma, right? All of a sudden you're looking at videos on YouTube about pay-per-click advertising, and now you're all of a sudden there's videos about flat earth or something. So it it could get overwhelming. Right? It definitely can get overwhelming. So again, make sure that you download the book, the booklet, roofermarketers.com 2020-workbook. Link is in the chat. So I like to start off with your why. And I like to start off with your why, because the clearer we are with our why, the more likely we will take action. Right? Think about that. The clearer we are with our why, the more likely we are to take action. So make sure that everyone is very clear on their why. And here is, the why a lot of people get stuck is, so many options are unclear where to spend your budget. That was, some of the comments. Knowing where to start, Maria said. Chris, again, competitive cost for Google Ads. right? The internet is so vast. Exactly what people put in chat, right? Unclear. Where do you spend your budget? There's, you could do SEO, you could do pay-per-click, you can, build your website, your social media, you could do Google local service ads, you can do all of your offline marketing, like wrapping your trucks and signs in the yard and billboards and radio and television and Facebook ads, or you could buy Home Advisor leads or Thumbtack, or, go on Nextdoor. There's so many things that are out there and available for you. And unlike many other trades, roofing companies spend a lot of money on marketing, right? You think of guys, companies like Mr. Roof, Able Roof, they do about $175 million a year in business. Their marketing budget is enormous, right? So if you're in a market where you're competing against them or some of the other big competitors out there, or if you're in a competitive market like Dallas or Denver, even Minneapolis, the cost to generate a lead for your business is difficult, right? It's difficult to rank your website in SEO. It's difficult in pay-per-click. The cost per click is high. So it's a major investment in marketing. And speaking specifically to to what Brenna said was, how much to show for it? What are you getting for your return on investment, right? What are you getting? How do you know if you're getting the right return on investment? And a lot of these things hold us up, right? A lot of these things put that in place and make you fail, because if you don't have a clear plan and execute, you can overspend or you can underspend. We see this all the time, especially in like pay-per-click or Facebook ads. A lot of times people will underspend, which is, you think about that and you're like, well, what do you mean underspend, right? Like maybe you just didn't get enough leads. Think about it. Anyone out here do canvassing, right? Door knockers. We got some good door knockers on the call. If you were a door knocker, if you're going through a neighborhood canvassing, would you knock on every 10th door? Of course not, right? You knock on every door because you don't know which one the opportunity is. So in the case of underspending, sometimes we're not knocking on every digital door that we can, right? Our ads are not showing for enough impressions for us to be in front of the right customer when they're ready to buy. Just like in door knocking, you don't know which door is the one. You may knock 300 doors and it's the 301st door that's the one, right? So a lot of times you can also underspend in your marketing. And we'll talk about that. But there really is an opportunity, right? An opportunity to get this right and an opportunity to hit your sales goals. So with a clear plan and goals, targets, and key performance indicators, tracking your KPIs and key performance indicators along the way to make sure that you're on track for that is how you get to generate enough leads for your roofing business, hit your goals, and grow the business the way that you want to grow it. And to have a great return on investment, right? That's the goal out of all of this, is a return on investment. There's that old adage, old analogy. People don't buy drills because they want to drill. They buy a drill because they want a hole, right? You don't invest in your website or pay-per-click or buy Home Advisor leads because you like to talk to people from Home Advisor, right? You do that with an expectation for a return on investment. And that's what we're going to talk about today, what success looks like, right? How to maximize your lead flow and hit your sales goals. So the first thing that we're going to do is set clear goals. That's the first thing. And if you look in the workbook, that's the first thing that we start with in the workbook here. What are your goals for 2021? Success is goals, all else is commentary. That's a quote from one of the greatest sales trainers of all time, Brian Tracy. Success is goals, all else is commentary. Another great quote that I love about goals is, a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? If your goal is to hit $5 million in your roofing company this year and you don't have a plan in place to do that, It's just a wish, right? Why don't you say 10? Why don't you say 20? You might as well, because it's just a wish. It's nothing, there's nothing effective in your execution. You're not putting your execution in place. And kind of an analogy is with goals and written down goals and plans of action. Without those, it's like being out on the ocean, being out on the lake on a sailboat with no wind, right? You want to get to land, you want to get to your destination, but there's nothing pushing you and driving you in that direction. So clear goals is like wind in your sails, right? Having that plan of action is going to push you to where you want to go. There was a Harvard study done in 1979 where they interviewed the graduates in 1979, and 84% of those graduates had no specific goals, right? These are Harvard, top of the, educated, top of their class kind of people. 13% had goals but hadn't written them down. 3% had clear, written, specific goals with a plan to accomplish them. The 13% of the class who had goals were earning on average twice as much as the 84% who had no goals over the next few years, 5 years. Even more staggering is the 3% who had clear written goals with a plan were earning 10 times as much as the other 90% of the people, right? 10 times as much. It's extremely important to write your goals down. So here's our goal setting framework, right? You need to have written goals and a plan. You need to set at minimum your 1-year goal, right? So what is your 2020 revenue goal? Then you break that down into your quarterly goals. Some of you on the line, Justin, I know you're on here. We're in northern markets, right? You're going to have a little bit of a different revenue stream in July and August than you are in January in Minneapolis, where we're at, right? So, make sure that you adjust your quarterly goals to this roofing season where you're located, and then down into those monthly goals. But you must have a stopping point, right? For goals, you must have a clear stopping point to be able to reevaluate and evaluate and reflect on where you are and if you hit them. And sometimes even within that, even if you don't hit them, the greatest data feed sometimes for our learning lessons in life are our failures, right? So if you didn't hit your goals, then you get to sit back and reflect. Well, what happened here? What went wrong, right? Why didn't we hit those goals? Did we overspend? Did we underspend? Did we spend in the wrong manner? Did we not convert the leads as well as we could have, right? Did we not have great follow-up in place on those? Did we lose a salesperson? Did we, what happened in that to have you to do that? So we start off with your revenue target, right? How much is that monthly? How many calls will that require? How many inquiries? How many leads? And then what is your average job value? And that's all in the workbook there. You could take a look at it in the workbook, and there's a breakdown of that on I think it's page 6. So start breaking that down, right? Start breaking that down into what you will actually need. So for example, let's say your revenue target is $3 million in 2021. That would be $250,000 a month. We'll make my math easy, right? 12,500 average transaction value, average job. So that would require 20 jobs a month if your roofing season is 12 months out of the year, right? So in that, now we want to work this backwards, right? We want to get down to the details. What is your average conversion rate from a lead to a book call, book job? So we divide that out, your target by your conversion rate. So an example of that would be 25%, making my math easy again, right? So if you need 20 jobs a month, 25% of that, you need 80 leads a month to hit that target of 20 jobs a month. So in the workbook there, you can see, this would be an example of a $5 million target, monthly revenue target of 416, about 35 jobs a month. At a 30% conversion rate, you would need 117 leads a month. If the average cost per lead generated across all of your marketing channels, right? Maybe your Google local service ads come in at, 30, $60. Your pay-per-click comes in at $250. You buy some leads from Home Advisor for 130. Your SEO comes in at 70, 60, 50, depending on how well you have that developed. Now you could figure out your budget, the budget that you need to hit those goals. Sometimes this is a scary conversation, right? It's something that, that's where the fear comes into play a lot of times. The fear comes into there, right? Do we really have to, we got to outlay $12,000 a month? Like, that's a lot of money, right? So those are the types of things. But once you know those numbers and your averages, now you know what your goal is, right? What your targets are. Alex, man, how are you? See, you got a question. How do you determine your lead amount when a lot of them are repairs coming from some sites? Would love to hear your thoughts around how to work on that. So you don't have, there's a couple of ways to look at this, right? This is the overall plan, right? You have your overall plan, how many you need to generate. So your average transaction value or average job value, you're going to take your repair jobs and your replacement jobs, right? And you're going to kind of average that out over the year. If you see that you guys are getting a lot more repair work, with smaller, smaller job transactions, you could probably separate that out. And then within each of the marketing channels, you'll be able to break down with key performance indicators how that marketing channel is performing. So even if you're getting a lot of repair leads from a specific marketing channel, if that's leading to a good ROI, it's leading to a good ROI, right? So what I think the best answer for you is we're going to look at the overall picture first, and then breaking it down into these lead sources and tracking them over time of where the revenue is coming from, and then making determinations on how to scale or pull back on those as needed. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So let's make this interactive, right? Let's chat here. What is your goal for 2021? Another thing that I think about goals, extremely important about goals, is expressing them. Express your goals to your team, to your spouse, to your mom and dad, to your best friends. Express your goals out loud. Verbalize them. Put them on the wall, right? Make sure that you are expressing them and putting them out there. So if no one, who's not afraid to express their goal, right? And if you did the work on the workbook, how many leads would it take to get there? Yeah, Alex, same thing, assuming with, siding, gutter projects, if you do windows, things like that. Louis says increase of at least 30% of work activity for the next 3 months despite COVID. Awesome, man. And it could be a we're going back towards lockdown mode, right? So that's a great thing to say is, hey, we're gonna hit this goal, man. 30% increase. We're gonna do everything we can to hit those goals. David Dees, what's up, man? How are you? I see you on the call. All right, I guess no one else wants to share. Expressing out loud. Express your goals out loud. You don't have to express them to me, but express them Says they're a brand new company, so his goal is $1 million in 2021. Man, awesome. Congratulations on getting started. How many leads do you think you'll need to get there, Drew? How many leads do you think you'll need to get there? Some people just listening. That's fine. No problem. Drew says 475 leads, right? So that's a great number to work on. Now, are you in a, does your where you operate, does your service area have a seasonality to it? Make sure that you adjust that lead flow for seasonality, right? Alex says their goal is 2 million, but the high goal is 3 million. So put the 3 million on the wall. Put the 3 million on the wall and work your to hit that goal. If you hit 2 million, now you're okay. But if you hit that 3, right? If you hit that 3, that's where it really makes the difference. So focus intently on the 3. Don't put the 2 million anywhere. Everything works off of that 3. If things don't work out well and you hit 2, you're still okay, right? But put all of your numbers together. Put all of your effort towards that 3. All right. So thanks everyone for participating. Thanks for the interaction. So now let's move on to the real work, right? Let's update our marketing messages. How do we speak to our clients? Where do we speak to them? Where do we speak to these prospects, these homeowners? So the fundamentals of your marketing message, marketing plan is first your market, then your message. Your market is the who. Who are you speaking to? Drew had mentioned here that they're in a hybrid market, storms and retail, so storm damage restoration and retail work. Those are two who's. Those are two different people, right? Those are two, what we refer to as, what we'll go into as ideal customer avatars. And we're going to talk about the message. That's the what. What are you going to say to them? How are you communicating to the people to your ideal customer avatar? How are you communicating in a way that they resonate with that message? And then the media, how, where are you going to put this message? So the first thing we're going to talk about is who is your ideal customer, right? And I really want you guys to put some thought into this, because not everyone is your ideal customer. Just because they have, an insurance check in hand may not mean that they're your customer. Just because they have, an old damaged roof doesn't mean that they're your customer, right? There's some thought, and Drew, for you just starting out in your business, I would focus on this intently, right? Some of you guys that I know, that have been in business for a long time here, you know who your customers are, right? But maybe you haven't thought about it, right? Maybe you haven't, kind of written down who that perfect customer is. But hey, when you go into this neighborhood, you crush it, right? You go into that neighborhood, it doesn't work out so well for you, right? There's different things to think about in that regard. So who is now we're going to get into details about this person. We don't want to just say, oh, people in this zip code are my ideal customer, right? Let's think about them a little bit more so that we can craft a message that resonates with them. So this is just kind of an example, right? Maybe your ideal customer, of course, they're a homeowner, right? If you're on the commercial side of things, maybe they're a property manager, a building owner, a decision maker on that property, whether it's on the maintenance side of that or the replacement, the re-roof side. Sometimes different decision makers, right, in commercial. So maybe they're typically female, not occasionally male, right? the wife, making the decisions in the house, married, 2 to 3 kids, had a household, $65,000 in income or more, family oriented, reliable, easily frustrated. They like to please people and expect that in return, right? They're not handy, right? You don't want the guy that's up there repairing his own roof, that might not be your ideal customer because he's going to be standing over your shoulder the whole time watching you, right? They like maybe gardening crafts, right? They live in the suburbs in an upper middle class neighborhood. They take interest in their community. Their pains and frustrations that we're going to deal with and is, hey, their roof is leaking, right? That's a pain or frustration. They can't get a roofing company on the phone or to return their call, right? It's amazing how many contractors do not answer their phone, first of all, and how many don't even call back. They need to get their roofing issue resolved, right? A storm came through, there's hail damage. They could see it, right? They need to get this issue resolved in a specific amount of time, right? They're too busy to deal with it themselves. They're just worried that the situation on the house, that it could be unhealthy for their family, right? It could cause further damage in their home. They have some fears, right? Their fears of being ripped off or overcharged. Contractors don't have a great reputation sometimes, right? There's, on the news, there's always the local news guy that's like in Denver, it was like Tom Martino, the troubleshooter when I was living out there. There's always these guys that are out there like, making sure they're calling out all of those contractors that are ripping people off, which is a good thing to do. But that's on the news all the time, right? They don't hear about you guys. They don't hear about the good contractors. They're worried that they're going to pay too much for something they could have gotten somewhere else for a better price, right? So they're worried, about having their home damaged by faulty workmanship. They're worried about having to wait around for the roofer to arrive, for the salesperson, for the crews to arrive. They're worried about being inconvenienced, trying to coordinate with the with the roofer, with the roofing contractor. They're worried that they have a fear of that it may cause a disaster in their house, right? They have a fear that the bill will come in more than they can afford. They also have goals to get the roof fixed, have the issue behind them, having a well-kept home, taking care of their family, and then beyond that, right, having more income, living in a nicer house, driving a nice car, keeping the kids happy and healthy, spending time with family. So what a lot of times we don't spend time on is really understanding beyond just, hey, a storm came through and they need a roof, right? Like, who are these people? Take time to think about that, and you will be able to have a different conversation. If you can see through Joe Jones' eyes, then you can sell what Joe Jones buys, right? If you can see through Joe Jones' eyes, you can sell what Joe Jones buys, right? So now let's talking about crafting that message, right? We know the who now. And you, like I said, you may have multiple who's, right? You can have multiple customer avatars. Drew, you're going to have a retail customer avatar. You're going to have a storm damage restoration customer avatar. Some of you that do commercial and residential, you're going to have different avatars for those. If you're a 100% commercial contractor and you do maintenance contracts and you do roof replacements, those are two different customer avatars, right? So you can have many customer avatars and being able to speak to many of these people in different ways. So let's start off, and this is in the workbook there. And I'd like some input here. I'd like you to write down 3 reasons why someone would choose your business versus the competition. And someone give me at least one in the chat, one of those reasons. And then also, what benefits do you offer that target customer that will resonate with them? And drop that in the chat for me too, if you could. Luis said, we're a reliable contract and perform inspections properly, providing picture and video. That's awesome. E. Hirschberger says quick service, right? Quick service. That's a great reason why someone might do business with you versus a competitor. Being reliable, right? That's a big one, Luis. Big one. Brenda says we have a quality warranty with quality products because our estimators and installers stand behind the product. That's awesome, right? Those are things that warranty is a big one in roofing. We test we test offers. We test a lot of offers in all of our paid advertising campaigns for our clients, and warranty is a big one. It's a really big one. The GAF Master Elite warranty, there's so many good ways to frame that, in this industry. Drew says, unlike many of our competitors, we're focusing on our crews and keeping them safe, happy, and paid. The thought behind this is that our crews show up happy and they'll do better work, right? So yeah, your crews do better work. So you're focused on, do you have an internal team, or are you referring to you're keeping your subs happy, Drew? Like, because that's another important thing. Hey, we have, all of our crews work for us. We don't use subcontractors, right? Chris says quality products and family-like customer service, right? So you treat your customers like family. That's awesome. So here's some things that we have found that works, right, in the messaging, right? Free inspections or estimates, straightforward upfront pricing, right? That's a big one that resonates with people. It goes back to that fear of getting ripped off, right? Satisfaction guaranteed, the great warranties, specific number of years, labor and material, right? Defining those warranties. Other things are that you're local to the area, right? You may have affordable financing options. Again, you can make the case as E. Hirschberger said, fast same day estimates, right? Money saving offers. People love to save money. Leaving the job site squeaky clean, not destroying your rose bushes, right? Experience, proven track record, great service guaranteed. It's all of these things can resonate in that message. So put some time into thinking about that. Get those things written down and try them out. Test different things. Have those conversations. A lot of times you can, you or your salespeople can really, really come up with this, right? What resonates with the people that they're talking to? If you still are in sales, right? You have those conversations every day with people, and hey, when I say this, man, it really resonates with people. Write that down. Make it part of your marketing. If you're an owner with salespeople, sit them down at the sales meeting, right? Every morning when you have your sales meeting, production meeting, however you have it structured, sit down with them and ask them questions, right? What's resonating with people? What can we do here to connect better with our customers? So what is your message, right? That's the big question, right? What is your message? And each customer avatar can have a slightly different message, right? So really defining this stuff, putting some time into thinking it out, especially through this time of year for a lot of us, a lot of contractors that are, that are north, in the northern areas, we got some time to sit back and think, crack open a beer, sit down with a pen and paper and write this stuff out, right? Now we're going to look at media. Media is the how, and it all starts with your hub. So making sure that your hub is converting. And when I refer to hub, I'm really talking about your website, because all marketing can lead back to your website. I don't care if someone sees your truck driving through the neighborhood, or if they see your Google ad or a Facebook post. Though a lot of those people will end up on your website. The great majority of those people will end up on your website. You may be running a radio ad or a television commercial. You're sending them a lot of times, hey, give us a call or visit our website, right? It's the hub of all of your marketing efforts, right? So we want to make sure that our website is set up to convert visitors to callers. So our example here is Prominent Construction. They're a longtime client of ours here in the Minneapolis Twin Cities area. When they started off, they had a website that they threw together. They were trying, right? And then when we took it over, we fully optimized it, made it optimized for conversion rate optimization and SEO, mobile optimized. And it makes a difference, right? This is 3 months this summer. They had 323 leads come in, 139. Their greatest lead source was through the website. So it makes a difference to have your website set up to convert. Now, what does that mean? The first thing is does it speak to your target customer avatar? We just talked about that, right? So speaking the right words to your target customer avatar. Does it address their fears and frustration and speak to why they should choose you? Does it have authentic images and videos of your team on the homepage and throughout the website? The guy in the bright yellow hard hat with the button-up shirt, shiny white teeth, and the hammer on the roof doesn't sell. That doesn't invoke trust in your company, right? Real pictures of you, your team, your trucks, your lifts, your everything that's wrapped. If you have a catch-all that's wrapped, if you have a quipter that's wrapped, like whatever you have, like you and your team, that's the authenticity that people will buy into, and that's what builds trust. We're going to talk about changes for 2021 and video being one of the biggest changes. It's been coming for a while, but if you don't get ahead of this, you're going to get left behind. Videos on your website as maybe a welcome video, a video for each of your services. People love video. It helps increase the time on page, which helps with SEO. You want to showcase your online reviews on your homepage. You want to make it easy for people to find your reviews. You can use tools like Birdeye, Grade.us, ReviewBuzz. Doesn't matter what the tool is, right? But making sure that it integrates into your website and is providing people with those reviews. Does it make it easy for them to take action, right? Are you playing hide and seek with your phone number? That's the thing I like to ask a lot of times. You go to someone's website and you're like, how do I get a hold of them? Let me scroll down. And down in the footer of their website in the smallest font available, there it is. You can barely read it. You might need reading glasses if you're old like me. And so, make sure that you have the ways that people can communicate with you front and center, right? Phone number in the upper right-hand corner, large font, make it easy for people to see. Schedule free estimates, schedule free inspection, get a free quote, whatever your call to action is. Really easy buttons to see, right? Ensure that the web form is something that's easy for the customer to fill out. Add credibility, Better Business Bureau. If you're, Angie's List award winner, GAF Master Elite, Owens Corning Platinum Preferred. If you're part of the NRCA or National Home Builders Association or any of the local, or more regional associations, the Florida Association or, Texas Association, Midwest, West, like all of these things to help communicate your authority and communicate that you are, as Luis said, the reliable contractors, right? The reliable contractor in your area. Calls to action that speak to that customer avatar. Are you giving them the opportunity to chat with you? Give them the opportunity to communicate with you in any way they want. Are you leveraging marketing automation, SMS messages to increase your lead conversion rates? So if anyone, so if take a look at your website. Is it built to convert? I'd be happy to take a look at anyone's website. Maria says, does more red coloring on your website convert better? It stands out. Red is one of those colors that stands out. I wouldn't say that it converts a specific color on your website. It's all about your branding and how you determine to brand yourself. Sometimes standing out. So I had Dustin Beegler, if any of you guys are familiar with him, on the Roofing Success podcast. If you haven't heard his episode, go and check it out. Dustin Beegler owns Apple Roofing. They do about, I don't know, 30. I think they'll do about 30 million in revenue this year. Apple Roofing is in Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska, everybody is red and white, right? Every company chooses red and white. So Dustin and Marcus, his business partner, chose this bright green with a red, bright green and red, and they stand out versus the competition, right? So it's not specifically a color that converts, right? It's just having a color scheme that is good for your personal branding, your company's branding. I think that is more important. And Maria, are you with Ribbon? I think you're with Ribbon, right? Don't you work with Ribbon? Chris said, should you have your flyers, mailers, door hangers, and business cards similar to your website? Yeah. So not just the logo and the color scheme, but initial imagery. Okay, so yeah. So I know you guys. Yeah, so Ribbon is fine. You guys have a great color scheme over at Ribbon. It stands out. It's unique to the market for sure. So Chris asks, should you have your flyers, mailers, door hangers, and business cards similar to your website? Yes, in the fact of your color scheme, right? That's your branding. So your color scheme in your branding starts with your logo, but it also, it's the ancillary colors that you use with your logo, right? So sometimes you may not have the color in your logo, but a color that coordinates with that really well, you may be using in some of your marketing materials. So yes, you want it all to flow together. You want them to look at your flyer, and then when they hit your website, it looks familiar, right? They see your wrap truck, it looks familiar. They all should go together. The more times people see your brand, the more likely they are to remember who you are, right? It takes 7-8 times for someone to see your branding to just know who you, to recognize, oh, that's that company, that's this. And this is old research from television commercials, that 7-8 times. Just seeing it 7-8 times, you have to, just to see it, people have to see it before they go, oh, I recognize that. So that's important, right? So now write down what, looking at your websites or thinking about your websites, what 3 conversion elements will you implement on your website to help to increase that conversion rate? And drop that in the chat. Is your phone number not very visible, right? Do you have those stock images of the, of the guy in the yellow hard hat? Do you, could you improve the conversation? Maybe just some bullet points about, hey, we're GAF Master Elite with the best warranties in the industry, or I'm not choosing sides in the shingle debate here, but free fast inspections. We leave job sites squeaky clean, right? Like, how many, like, can you implement some of that messaging on your website? So Brenna says we're way too generic, but we're in the process of changing that. That's awesome. Your phone number is visible. That's the main thing, right? It drives me crazy when I have to, when people play hide and seek with their phone number. But really work on that, Brenna. The authenticity of your website, some people get caught up in that. They're like, well, I don't want to be in the pictures, or I don't want to, I don't look good on camera, or I have a face for radio, or whatever, whatever it is. But that's not the point. The point is that to let people just see who you really are, right? Who the people behind. People buy from the people behind. Think of those sales guys out there, right? Those sales people out there, that it doesn't matter what company they're with. they will sell roofs. It's because people buy from them, not the brand behind them, right? They're building that relationship with that person. So make sure that you're building that relationship with the customers as they're coming into your funnel. Drew says align with manufacturers we trust. Haven't settled on a specific brand. Have the phone number loud and proud. So that's great, man. Louis said, can you give us any suggestions about where to place the call to action buttons? Yeah, man, sure. Let me just show you some. We'll just go to a website quick. We'll go to Prominence website. So calls to action, right? Phone number in the upper right-hand corner. Schedule free estimate button with it, along with it. Second placement of the schedule free estimate button is right down in the middle in the body area, right below the page title or the header tag. And your unique selling proposition right above some of your trust factors. And then as you scroll down the page, as you have provided them some more information, right? Experienced, licensed, insured. Now here's some stuff about Prominent. Here's some authenticity. Here's a video. Asking again with an appointment button, right? Talking about your services, why homeowners choose you. Here's some reviews. Schedule free estimate. Here's your phone number. So strategically placing them all the way down the page, starting at the top right in the middle. Does that help you out, Luis? So we're going to move on to talking about the biggest challenge facing roofing companies is unconverted leads, right? A lot of times you get that person to visit your website. Maybe you get them to fill out a form, but that doesn't turn into a sale. And that is because 50 to 60% of inbound leads leave unconverted, right? 90% of web forms fail to convert. And that's because leads that are not followed up within 15 minutes go completely cold. Leads, if you don't call someone that submits a form on your website, if you don't call them in under 5 minutes, you have an 80% less chance of ever getting a hold of them. I'm not talking about 80% less chance of closing the deal. I'm talking about ever getting a hold of them, right? Ever. 5 minutes. Leads that go 15 minutes, completely cold. Completely. The average customer must be followed up with 5 to 7 times before booking, right? You fill out the form, you call them, they don't answer, you send them a text message, you send them an email, right? You're following up with them multiple times. Today's consumer, a lot of them prefer to interact versus with text message. Maybe they're at work, well, they're in their home office now, right? Filling out a form, they got the kids in the background, they can't talk to you, right? Text them, they'll respond to that. So you want to leverage marketing automation to follow up with web forms in the first 2 minutes of the submission via phone, email, and text message. What we provide our clients is in our call tracking system. Anytime someone fills out a form, a call gets generated to their company. They pick up the phone, it says press 1 to connect with a new web form lead. They press 1, it does an outbound dial to the phone number that was put in that the consumer put in the form. If they answer, they're on the phone with them within 20 seconds, right? If they don't answer, they get a text message. Now we're sending emails. All of this can be integrated. Job Nimbus has a text messaging platform that integrates with it. MailChimp integrates with Job Nimbus. There's all kinds of things that you could do if you have Job Nimbus or some of the other softwares out there. You may be able to use it, you may not. Some of the call tracking softwares out there have a lot of this automation built in. Automate the follow-up process so that every prospect gets touched 5+ times and are able to engage with two-way text messaging. So it kind of looks like this, right? Your lead comes in from wherever. Google local service ads, Google ads, Facebook. You get a home advisor lead. A form from your website. Hey, if they you have a plan of action. Hey, within 2 minutes we're calling, within 30 seconds after that we're texting, and you move them on through this process to, hey, we never got a hold of them, let's start emailing them, right? Let's start text messaging and emailing them. And this is it's kind of an outrageous statement, but I want to kind of emphasize the point that it's math, right? If you have 100 leads with a 30% conversion rate, 30 book jobs, 100 leads, 30 book jobs, average job, 10 grand, that's $300,000 in revenue. If you can increase that conversion rate to 50%, that's $500,000 in revenue. If you increase it to 70%, that's $700,000 in revenue. So sometimes it's not the lead, right? It's the conversion of that lead. Working on that can improve those conversion rates dramatically. So we want to make every lead you generate more valuable, right? It's squeezing every ounce of juice out of that orange, right? We're getting every bit of value that we can for the marketing dollars that we're spending. So Alex said, what are some of the rising channels you're keeping an eye on aside from GMB and local service ads and Facebook? We'll get to that in a little bit, Alex, for sure, man. We'll talk about some of the trends for 2021. So key takeaways here. If what did you guys learn? What did you notice? What would you like to share? Let's in doing this exercise, in sharing with the group, in typing into chat, just to me privately, I don't care. It's gonna resonate more. It's gonna plant these seeds in your mind and help you execute this more along the way. So, what did you learn? What did you learn in that conversation? What could you share? Drew said writing of goals is critical. Man, big time. Yeah, in your head, you keep them to yourself. That's going to change, man. Make that change. Shout them to the world, right? Put them on the wall, right? Put them everywhere. Put your goals out there. It is a game changer, because you have to stare at them then, right? You have to see, and you have to personally know where you're at, right? Hey, I'm not there yet, or I'm on my path. I'm looking good. David, what's up, brother? You said how important it is to follow up with leads right away. You cannot, man, think about this, right? In a lot of markets that you guys are in, through pay-per-click, right? You may pay $250 for the phone to ring, right? Or someone to fill out a form. And you're not answering the phone, you're not following up with them. You gotta treat that like, that's the most important thing, an action item there. Melvin says the phone number and the header, easy to find, man, for sure. Never play. I know I've said this a couple times already today, but never play hide and seek with your phone number. Lisa says, if you can see through Joe Jones' eyes, you can sell what Joe Jones buys. Man, I love that quote. Like, it just puts it into clarity what, just what we really need to do. Because sometimes we get so caught up in talking about us, right? But in talking about us and crafting our message, what we think people need to hear or would want to hear, we're just thinking of it from our point of view, right? Oh, we're the top company in this, or we're the this and that. People, that doesn't resonate with people. So thinking of the communication with your consumer through their eyes, that's great. Thank you, Lisa. Luis learned a lot today. Notice some correction needed on the website and other ways that roofers are using to promote their companies properly, man. It's a big deal. So now that we have some of that out of the way, the goal, like we talked about in the beginning, and a couple people said, Justin too, man, need to be more specific with goals and break them down into monthly, weekly targets, not just sales and revenue goals, but marketing targets as well. I think that's a big part of it, right? We always look at that big number on the wall. We look at the big number on the wall and we go, yep, goal this year is 5 million. But we have no way of tracking that on a weekly basis, right? Like how many home visits did we do, right? Tracking that down to what really leads to that revenue. That's an important part of it. E. Hirschberger said immediate follow-up, man. If you don't, we're in a world where people want instant gratification. Seriously, they want instant gratification. We're moving into 2021, right? If you don't think people are, everything is instant, go button, 2-day delivery, 1-day delivery. Prime is 1-day delivery now. You know what I mean? They want to get their roof scheduled, get it done now, or they will go elsewhere. I tell contractors all the time in the presentations that I do, or in our small coaching, or whatever it is with our clients and in the communication with them. The first thing you need to do is set the home visit, right? The faster you can get that scheduled, the more likely you have of choosing it. I think the number is, it's at least half of people choose the first person that they get a bid from, right? So just by being the first person every time, you guarantee a higher conversion rate. Easy stuff. But now let's know how to track those KPIs, right? Now we're going back to what Justin said of marketing targets as well, right? You're going back and tracking the leads on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. You're seeing where you're at. Hey, are we getting enough traction here? Do we have enough to really blend that in? And the easiest way to do that is, first you have to just create a little dashboard for yourself. This is what it looks like for our clients, but it's easy to do if, you could do it in your CRM and Job Nimbus and AccuLinks and Job Progress, whatever you're using. Or you could do it in, just in a Google spreadsheet if you have to, right? Or a Google Sheet or a Excel spreadsheet, whatever you have to do to track those KPIs. So we use Google Data Studio, and we use all kinds of fancy stuff to pull in all of our information, but you don't need all of that, right? Like if you're using a CRM, that information should be there, right? You'll be able to use that CRM to track a lot of this stuff. But if not, Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheets are free, right? If you have a Google, sign up for Gmail and you have access to Google Sheets, right? Like everything is there for you. The way that we track it, and this is just from our agency side, right? So it'll be a little bit differently for you as a contractor because there may be more marketing channels, right? So we're looking at Google Organic, how many calls were generated in that time period, right? Or is that an increase, or a decrease from the last, from a comparable time period? How many came from your Facebook page, your Google My Business, your AdWords, your ad extension, and map extensions, which are those ads that show up in the map section. And then we're breaking it down by your total investment and your average cost per lead. But then you could break these down even more individually, right? You could say, hey, we spent this much on Facebook, and we do that for our clients. You could see this is page 1 of 6. But you break it down by lead channel, right? And then you're figuring out which one is the best. So, but in doing this exercise, I want you to also consider, there's 2 things to consider in a lot of this. One is your customer acquisition cost per lead channel overall and per lead channel. But the second thing is long-term value of a customer. Black Friday just happened, right? The reason that 50-inch TV was on sale for $200 is to get you to walk into Walmart, walk to the back of the store, get that television, and have to walk back through the store to get to checkout and buy more things. In retail, they understand this. A lot of time in service, construction businesses, It's not understood as well. That's the long-term value of a customer. You may have to pay all of your profit for one customer, right? But for you storm damage restoration people, right? Now, hey, we got Bob and Judy's house. Now we're knocking the six pack. Hey, we're doing your neighbor Bob and Judy's house. We just got them approved with our insurance. Would you like a free roof inspection? Right? Now you may have to pay more for that customer, especially through a channel like Google AdWords, right? It's expensive. Or on the retail side, that once you get that customer and you do a good job for them, they're going to refer you, 3 to 5 people over the next 5 to 10 years, whatever the time period is, right? So sometimes it's important to monitor that specific customer acquisition cost, but you have to think about the long-term value of that customer at the same time. So it's a little interjection there, but so far we've put together clear goals and targets for 2021. We've developed some clarity around your market, your media, and your message. We've made sure that our websites, our hub is set up to optimize the conversion rates on that lead flow, and that we've set up a simple KPI tracking board, right? Just simple KPI tracking board. You have to measure what gets measured, right? What gets measured. So now we'll talk about, Alex, you've been waiting for this, man, some of the key trends in 2021. One of the biggest things that we believe is that you must have an all-in perspective. You can't only do SEO. You can't only do pay-per-click. You can't only do local service ads. You can't only do social media. If you want to have consistent lead flow from your business, you must have an all-in perspective. Running local service ads, running pay-per-click, optimizing your Google My Business listing, building those reviews, getting a great reputation online, working on your website, getting it ranked in Google, retargeting and remarketing all of that traffic, running Facebook ads, wrapped trucks driving through everybody's neighborhood, signs in the yard, flyers on the doors, like all in perspective. And that leads to that growth in your business over time. That leads to a consistent lead flow. The other part of it is video. Alex, you better get on camera, buddy. Like video, and more video. There's another guy that I interviewed on the podcast, Andrew Ittenauer. He's down in Memphis. He hired a friend of his who does photography and videography to come out with him once a week. He throws the drone up, gets some footage, talks in front of the houses. Hey, this is what we're doing on this build. Hey, this is does video testimonials with the customers. All of that is the key trend for 2021. And that is what's going to set your company apart in 2021. The other part of it that is what we're referring to as omnipresence through artificial intelligence. Google ads and Facebook ads are continuing to build in more and more artificial intelligence. So in Facebook, for example, we run a video of you talking about the build, right? That's going on and what you're doing for that customer and how you how you help get them approved with their insurance company or something. And off of those people that watch that video, now we create a second audience that are people that are likely to buy from that, right? And I'm making it very simplistic, but now you create an audience. This is using Facebook's artificial intelligence. Now, Facebook's going to go out and using their algorithms, they're going to find people. You watch The Social Dilemma, right? If you haven't, they're going to find the people that want to interact with that video. And then they're going to find the people that actually make a phone call from that video or submit a form on a landing page from that video. And it continues to build out. That artificial intelligence is now in the Google network, Google search, Google display. YouTube ads is another place that's going to be a big game changer. But the key there is omnipresence, right? must have an all-in perspective, being everywhere. These people cannot not see you. Go to our website. I dare you. You will never get rid of us. You'll go check the weather. Will be there. We'll be in your Facebook feed. We'll be in your Instagram. We'll be on your LinkedIn. We'll be in, you go to watch a video on YouTube. There's my smiling face, right? Everywhere you go, you will not be able to get rid of us. And that, I think, is going to be one of the key trends for 2021. So now take time and build out that 2021 plan. It's an overall effort, right? You have your strong on-page link building SEO stuff. You have your paid advertising through Google and Bing, even Facebook ads, display network ads. You can buy from, Houzz and Angie's List and do all that type of stuff. There's so many options, but when you have a clear target of what you are trying to accomplish, that's how you get to that goal, right? Is knowing exactly, all right, we're going to do Facebook ads, we're going to do Google ads, and we're going to do SEO, and we're going to target that, and we're going to put effort into it, and then you're going to monitor it on an ongoing basis, and you're going to make adjustments. Here's real examples, right? Prominent Construction here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They're a full-service roofing company. They were founded in 2012. In 2015, when they started working with us, they had about $2 million in revenue. Now, on an ongoing basis, every year they do 6 to 8 million in revenue. And it was because we built a website that's built to convert. We do proactive SEO, Google Maps optimization, focus on their online reviews and reputation. If you saw when I pulled them up, they had over 100 and something reviews. We use strategic pay-per-click campaigns, social media presence, email marketing, and precision tracking and measurements of all those KPIs. And doing all of it, I know it sounds like a lot, right? But doing all of that is really what leads to it. If you are not able to do it today, was it Drew? Yeah, Drew, right? You're just getting started, right? I believe in a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 approach. Start with your phase 1, optimize it, get it going, move on to phase 2. Phase 2, maybe some social media marketing, right? Starting with your website always. Phase 1 is always your website. Phase 2 is maybe some social media marketing, maybe some Google ads. Those are the types of things. Another client, APAL Roofing, out in Raleigh, and now in Marietta, Georgia, and in Wilmington. He went for, when he started with us in the fall of 2019, like April, May of 2019, he started with us. He had done 1.2 million the year before, and he's on pace this year to do 4 million. Same strategy, optimizing all of the opportunities to generate a lead for his roofing business. Wayland Construction out in the Pittsburgh area, just outside of Pittsburgh, signed up with us right before COVID, and their revenue was up 30% year over, from the year before, just by what we've done, just by putting the right things in place. And these are things that you can do yourselves. But if you want to talk to our team, feel free to reach out. We'd love to talk to you. Nikki's in the chat. If you want to chat with her, we can help you put all this stuff in place. Nikki just dropped a link in for where to sign up for a call with us. Build out your custom plan. It's in the workbook there. It's in the workbook. Put in the time, put in the effort. Make sure that you know what your top three marketing initiatives will be for 2021. Put effort, put focus into that. So what did you learn? What did you notice? What would you like to share? What questions do you have? I have some time. We could spend some time and go through some stuff. Be happy to do that with you. Beyond that, we've covered setting your goals for 2021, how many leads you need to hit your target market, the 3 fundamentals of marketing success, how to optimize your website, the big picture of online marketing and the channels you should be tapping into, the latest trends, and how to develop your custom action plan where you are now. Like I said, if you'd like to talk with us about what we can do for your company, 855-799-1252, roofermarketers.com/apply. Also, check out the Roofing Success podcast. Got a lot of great content on there, a lot of great interviews. Justin, who's on this call, said I'm his favorite podcast next to Joe Rogan. So high level, man. We're high level here. E. Hirschenberger said would like to call you and discuss. Nikki, could you get his information? David, man, where you at? I've been seeing. I haven't talked to you in a little bit, man. Drew said, do you think $2,000 a month is a decent advertising budget for Google ads and Facebook ads? Drew, what market are you in? Columbus, Ohio. No, not enough. If I was going to spend $2,000 a month in Columbus, Ohio, I would, if you only have $2,000 for a budget, I would put that towards Facebook ads. If for Google ads in Columbus, I wouldn't want less than a $2,500 a month budget on Google ads. That would get you that impression share that you need to actually generate some leads from that. Able is everywhere, right? Able, yeah, you got some competition out there for sure, man. That's one of the issues with markets like Columbus and Raleigh, even and Nashville. They're down in Nashville and all over the place. When some of those big players are in the market, they really when some of those big players are in the market, they're willing to spend because they know the result, right? They understand that long-term value of a client. So make sure that you understand that. And so let's see here for $2,000 a month. So here's Drew. And for everyone else that's still on the call, a good kind of rule of thumb, or a good industry standard. In the industry standard is say 3 to 5% on your digital marketing, or three. Usually it's around 3% on your digital marketing, 5% on your total marketing. So when you include your truck wraps and your flyers and all that type of stuff. So if you're trying to do $1 million, Drew, if you're trying to do $1 million, your goal is to spend $50,000 in marketing. So sometimes, and depending on your position, I see sometimes when a company is trying to kind of make that initial push, you might be towards 8%, because you're investing in the future, right? Once you get things rolling and kind of get some things going and have some referrals coming in and things like that, then maybe you scale it down a little bit to more in that 5% range. But that for everyone, for your goal, think of your marketing budget as just as an average 5% of your goal. Alex, your goal is $3 million. That's $150,000 in marketing budget. Make sure you understand that, right? So, yep, Drew is planning on 50,000. And digital is definitely the way to go. But make sure you have your trucks wrapped. Make sure you have the professional clean look. Everybody has, logoed shirts and all all of the visuals are in place, signs for the yards, all of that process needs to be in there too. Great. Any other questions? Feel free to drop them in chat. Appreciate everyone being on here. Rosemary, Melvin, Maria, Luis, Lisa, Chris, Karina, Justin, man, Hector, Drew, David D's my man, Chattery, Brenna, Alex. Yeah, man. Alex wishes everyone the best of luck in 2021. And that's a great thing, man. That is a mindset of abundance, right? I hope all of you succeed in 2021. If we're a part of that success, or if you can, another marketing company helps you out, whatever that is, crush it in 2021. Awesome. Awesome, everyone. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate you being on here. We'll talk to everyone soon.